Hello. Look, I promise not to get all choked up this week. I think you've had enough of that the past 2 weeks. And if you need to see me getting choked up, then go watch the previous 2 episodes. This one's going to be pretty short. It's a little quiet this week because, as you may have heard, someone is having a big birthday this weekend. Now, it's, yes, a flawed entity, challenging history of that entity, but this Independence Day, as if you don't already know, the U.S. turns 250 years old. And it's just, personally, it's interesting to me because I was around when it turned 200 and remember that well. And it just feels a little different now in many ways. My perspective is probably entirely different, but because of that, suffice it to say, because of all that, you know, the festivities and the focus and the World Cup going on right now, like I think folks in the community have just been a little quiet this week. I think it's going to pick back up throughout the summer, but weeks like this, they're challenging. Like, why would you put news out this week if you knew that the vast majority of people weren't paying attention? So with that in mind, I want to touch on a few topics that have come up around small business, because I know that even if you're a startup founder, even though you may be focused in tech or CPG or whatever, I know you talk to small business folks in your community. I know as a technical person, you probably get questions about technology and AI and all that kind of thing. So I wanted to provide a few resources that I came across this week that could be valuable to your small business friends, or if you happen to be a small business owner watching this. First of all, welcome. Glad you're here. First and foremost, our friends at Bricks Need Mortar and Portland's Office of Small Business are collaborating to put together an event for small businesses to learn about AI. Isaiah Steinfeld is going to be the person who is running the event. Great mentor, super intelligent about the subject matter. Really excited that they were able to secure Zaif to give the presentation. So if you're a small business owner who's looking for guidance on what to be doing with AI as a small business owner, as a physical retail location owner, how can you be leveraging AI? This could be a good session for you to attend. I, of course, will link that up so that you can register. Our Place had the opportunity to talk with Bailey from Our Place this week. If you're not familiar with Our Place, it's really trying to help people find community and events and those kind of like third places we seem to have lost during the pandemic. I would say Portland is a brilliant place for third places and fourth places and fifth places. And if you're not really familiar with the concept of a third place, the idea was prior to the pandemic that, you have your home where you spend probably the vast majority of your time. That's your primary place. And then your secondary place was generally work. That was the place that you would spend a ton of other time. And then your third place was that place that was neither home nor work, but was another place that you felt comfortable being. It might be a coffee shop that you co-work out of, might be a gym, might be another gathering place that you frequent on a regular basis, could be a bar, could be a bar where everybody knows your name. That concept of third place took a huge hit when we only had one place during the pandemic. There wasn't even a place of work. There was just the one place. So what Our Place is working to do, it's available on iOS, coming soon for Android, is really just trying to help you get back out into the community, find your people, find the events, find the places that resonate with you and that you've been missing, and the people that you've been missing. So if that sounds like something like, I don't know, maybe you're an extrovert or something and you need more people time, maybe check out Our Place. And of course, please listen to the conversation with Bailey where she describes her motivation for starting it and what it's designed to do and all how we can be helpful to her in her journey as a founder on working on Our Place. So please check that out. Of course, we'll link it up. Take advantage of that. And then something very similar called Local First PDX, which came out of a hackathon, is really designed to simplify the search for shopping for items. Basically, how do I find something locally sourced and sold rather than taking the easy out and using a big box retailer to deliver that object I would like to purchase. And so what Local First really does is, and it's focused on Portland, but I could see this being relevant anywhere. It creates a repository of small local businesses, what they sell, and then enables you to kind of prompt the site and say, hey, I've got a birthday for somebody who loves coffee and beer. They're turning 40. What can I get locally? And it does all its magic, AI magicness, and spits out an answer for you. Just as easy as going to another website that might sell something, but gets you something that's, again, locally sourced, hopefully locally produced, but, helps a local retailer with those sales. So there you go. If you are a local retailer, join Bricks Need Mortar. Consider going to the event on AI with the Portland Office of Small Business. If you're looking for your people or you are a place for people, check out Our Place. And if you are a local retailer selling goods that you want local Portlanders to buy, or you are a Portlander who wants to find local goods from those retailers, y'all should converge on the Local First PDX site. Okay, I'll link all those up so you have access to those. Okay, this week, since it was kind of a slow news week, I was like, it's the middle of the year. How in the hell is it the middle of the year? I don't know. This is how time works. This seems to happen about every 6 months. We're either like at the middle of a year or at the end of a year. And it just keeps happening time and time again. I keep trying to figure it out, but that's where we are. So it's July. We made it through the first half of 2026, and I wanted to give you a glimpse into the stories that were most popular on Silicon Florist for the first 6 months of the year. And then I was thinking about maybe going back and doing something similar with the videos, maybe do like a supercut for you where I give you each of the stories I talked about and just give you that segment so that you can, rather than have to read, you're not here because you want to read. You're here because you want me to read the news to you and tell you about what is going on with the certain je ne sais quoi in which I deliver the news to you. So let me just tell you what the stories on the blog were. And if you would like that, recap of the top stories from the YouTubes, then I'll go ahead and do that too. Just let me know. Okay. Top 10 Silicon Florist posts for the first half of 2026. We'll do it like a regular top 10 countdown. We'll start at 10 and count up to number 1. Number 10, Portland Metro Region Innovation Hub loses another executive director. If you're interested in applying for that gig, since it's now open, there is a job opening there. So if you fancy being an executive director of a nonprofit that supports entrepreneurs and startups and founders, Portland Metro Region Innovation Hub, the hub of innovation in the Portland metropolitan region. They're looking for new leadership. That could be you. Maybe apply for that. Could be a great gig. I would look forward to working with you in that capacity, as well as any other capacity. I would look forward to working with you, of course. We don't get enough time together. I would love to work with you more. Number 9, investing $125 million in downtown Portland garners Jeff Swickard 2 buildings and a new upstart tenant, which of course is talking about Big Pink and the building across the street, and Josh Carter and Upstart Collective moving into Big Pink. That's what that story is all about. Number 8, Anthropic plans to pop by Portland for a Claude Code hackathon. Huge resurgence in hackathons at the beginning of this year. Nice to see. I miss the hackathons. I don't care if business comes out of the hackathon. I just like people getting together and creatively creating things. And getting people together to share ideas with one another, or to bounce ideas off of one another, or to develop things with one another. And with the AI, with the Codex or the Claude or the Gemini, makes it super fast to do hackathons and get to prototype real quickly. So nice to see hackathons coming back. There are a whole bunch more of those popping up here and there. So please keep your eyes open to Calligator and the Portland Startup Calendar for those hackathon events. I'm sure there will be much more in the second half of 2026 as well. Okay, number 7, 3 ways to immediately engage with folks from the Portland startup community. So one of those primers that's just like, hey, you need some help getting engaged? Here's how you do it. So quickly, I'm not even looking at the post, but I can tell you it's Portland Startup Slack. It's like Calligator, and I don't even know what the third one is. So you have to go read that story for the third one, because I can't even remember what I wrote half a year ago. Number 6, Silicon Forest Tech Summit 2026. It's back and promising to be bigger than ever. And it was amazing. Joseph and his crew, as usual, just knocked it out of the park with the trade show floor, I think, was the most amazing part this time around. Speakers were fantastic, but the trade show floor was really where the energy was this year. And then, of course, it was Pi Day. It was March 14th. So I bought everybody pie because I co-founded a thing called Pi. So we always like bad pie puns. We always try and do something on Pi Day, which is March 14th, because it's 3.14, which is pi. Pi, P-I, not P-I-E, but still. Pie is good on any day, but especially Pi Day. Okay, number 5, Oregon AI Accelerator reveals inaugural cohort. Of course, they would go on to have a demo day. The 20 companies made it through the program and got to tell their stories. And now Oregon AI Accelerator is Oregon AI Accelerator is, of course, looking to do 2 classes every year. They're looking to stand up an organization that can continue to do that work year after year. They're talking about like a decade-long plan. So that would be like 20 classes. And if they did 20 classes of 20 startups each, that's 400 startups entering our community over the next decade, all based on, the AI. So it's really interesting to see these stories at the beginning, but then know what the outcome was. That I didn't even think about that when I was starting to read this list to you. Okay. Number 4, quietly raising one of the biggest rounds in Portland startup history. Panthalassa $140 million, Series B. If you're not familiar with Panthalassa, they have created a thing. It's an object that sits in the ocean, generates power by the motion of waves. So wave energy, takes wave energy and converts it into power for their facility, their floating facility. And then inside the floating facility is all kinds of like AI server farm stuff. You know what I'm talking about? It's a data processing repository. So the nice thing about it is it gets the power to run the AI infrastructure and, the server farm data center thing in the ocean. But then the other nice thing is, in terms of heat, the ocean, of course, is very chilly and helps kind of dissipate that heat. So it's a very interesting pursuit. I know they've been working on it for a while, but I feel like it's one of those where, they happen to be doing a thing that AI created a much bigger need for. So they were skating to where the puck was going, probably not even realizing there was an actual puck that would deeply affect the work they're doing. So congratulations to Panthalassa. Super interesting project. Everybody says it's like the most overlooked startup in the community. So really happy that people got to see the news, learn more about Panthalassa, and it was so popular for the first half of the year. Number 3, longtime innovation ecosystem builder Dwayne Johnson shares insights on Oregon's economic woes. This was the archipelago. God damn it. Archipelago. So Dwayne's thesis is that one of the challenges in Oregon is it's like a series of islands with no bridges. It's like various islands. I often refer to them as silos, but he chose the analogy of islands, and it was like, really, if Oregon's going to be successful, it's going to keep building those islands. That's just the way Oregon is. But if it's really, truly going to be successful, it needs to figure out how to bridge those islands and bridge those groups and bridge that creativity and bridge that business. So archipelago. I said it. So Oregon's archipelago and the problem it creates. Great piece. I was really happy Dwayne let me share that. I received it as part of another conversation. I was like, have you posted this anywhere? Have you published this? Because I think people need to read it. And clearly people did, because it was number 3 for the full 6 months, and it just barely came out. So that's how popular it was. Number 2, why is no one talking about Oregon eliminating qualified small business stock tax breaks? That became a whole conversation, and it's still ongoing. And the Prosperity Council stuff, the Prosperity Council report was 452 pages. So I may have been a little optimistic last week when I said, I'll just read it over the weekend and then I'll do a post. It's really taken me the entire week. So I will get to that. I will get that post posted next week. I think I can, if I spend, yet another weekend on it, I think I can get through it and provide a startup founder's perspective on the Governor of Oregon's Prosperity Council report for 2026 and what they think we need to do to become more prosperous and successful as a state. And of course, QSBS is part of that. So that's all coming up. And then finally, number 1, Governor Kotek signed SB 1507 as expected, which is the tax bill that detached Oregon tax law from federal tax law, specifically in a few ways, one of which was qualified small business stock, and she had to sign it. Like, there was no line item veto. So it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, and we're continuing to deal with it. Prosperity Council talked about it. We'll talk about it more. And she has promised that this is something she will work to fix. Obviously, the big challenge is she's up for re-election in November. So those are the top 10 stories. I will link up the blog posts so you can get to all of those, but obviously they're all on the blog if you want to read them and see, and maybe you can tell me what that third thing was to get connected real quickly. Speaking of getting connected, I always like to just refresh this on a regular basis, this kind of primer, this kind of how-to Portland startup community kind of thing. So I built a mid-year quick start guide for you. That's the final thing I want to talk about. And it really just takes you through stuff like the Portland Startup Slack, which has more than 8,000 profiles on it now. 8,000 people have joined that Slack instance. At some point, it's really designed to help Portland people connect with other Portland people, but you're also welcome if you're thinking about moving to Portland, or maybe you've just been curious about Portland, or maybe you're somewhere else in Oregon and want to be better connected to Portland. That's what the Portland Startup Slack is for. Please come join us there. It's great. Not super noisy, but lots of DM activity and lots of good ways to connect with one another. Portland Startup Events calendar I already mentioned, and Calligator. those are two great resources to find the events that are happening in the startup world. So those will help you find those. I shouted out a few great organizations, like Megan and Nicole at AI Portland and all the great work they do. Sam Keene at Portland AI Engineers, the Rose City Techies crew. That's a great landing place for people who might want to get involved in technology more, but don't really know where to begin. That they're just very welcoming, very, very thoughtful about the way they do their programming. Same with AI Portland. AI Portland is it sounds like you need to be an expert to go to AI Portland, but you don't. It's really just, are you curious about AI? That's what AI Portland is. But at Portland AI Engineers, you do need to be an expert. You need to be building stuff. That's what they are really talking about. So if you're curious about what people are building or what they're learning or how they're, leveraging their harnesses or doing their exterior and interior loops or whatever, that's more Portland AI Engineers. All right. So there are all those. And then, of course, there are monthly gatherings. There's Demolicious, which is a pitch competition. OEN Pub Talks, which have a variety of formats. Sometimes it's just networking. Sometimes it's somebody speaking. Sometimes it's a panel. There's Thai Pitch Club, which is designed to help you with your pitch or hear other people pitch so that you can get better at your pitch. And then, of course, startup conversations in the Couve. There's an East Side and West Side up in Vancouver, run by our friends at North Bank Innovations, who are part of the VIC and all that. So that's another monthly-ish, weekly-ish. They got all kinds of stuff going on up there in Vancouver. Okay. So that's those that'll help you if you're how do I meet people? How do I find events? Hopefully that post will help you. And of course, I will link that up so you have access to that resource. It also links out to the gigantic GitHub repository that is designed for the community to engage and share resources that they believe are valuable to everyone in the community. So it's a running list that we keep up to date with, co-working spaces and accelerators and investors and events and all kinds of other resources that can be valuable to you. So that's linked up from that post as well. Okay. So I think that's it. It definitely is. So I'm going to just go into secrets mode. If you're not familiar with secrets, if you haven't had a chance to stay here, to when I get to the secrets time. Secrets is basically where I just share what's going on in my life and what's happening in the community from my perspective. As always, had a great week. I'm doing more work to get back re-engaged with the community. I'm going to go in stupid. I'm going to listen to Dan Wyden and show up stupid every single day. Not come from, assumptions or thinking I know about something or thinking I understand something. I'm just going to show up dumb every day and learn new stuff. Start from scratch. Start the community work from scratch again, because I have so much to learn, so many new people in the community to meet. And the prior couple weeks, the stuff I was getting all choked up about has really reinforced something within me where I realize I have been coasting. I haven't been doing all the work. I haven't been doing the work the way it should be done. And I would really like to get back to that more actively. So I will be redoubling my efforts to engage with the community and look forward to running into you at things here and there. Other things, I watched a lot of World Cup every time. I'm I'll watch a game or two, whatever. And, it's soccer. I played soccer my entire life. I was in Olympic development. If I never told you that, I was on the path to be on the Olympic team, but I was never good enough to get there. And during my time period, Casey Keller was the guy I was often competing with for that position on the national team. So I think they made the right choice, clearly. Jason Keller's amazing, but also played Div 3 throughout college, played soccer. And I watch the Timbers all the time, but I sometimes forget how exciting and compelling soccer is. And so, of course, World Cup, I've just been sucked in to the whole thing. I don't even care who wins. I'm just like, watching the beautiful sport is just really refreshing and reinvigorating, and is doing something really good for my soul. So if you're a soccer fan, I hope you're enjoying the World Cup as well. I was worried it was going to be a big mess because the U.S. has been just shitty to people. And but no, it seems to be going well. Everything seems to be going great. Fingers crossed. Continues to go great. If you're not a soccer fan, just watch one of the games. Trust me, just watch one. You'll be surprised. You'll get sucked into it, and then you'll be like, I gotta watch every one of the games, which is what always happens to me, even though I think you won't. Again, really looking forward to re-engaging with the community once we get past the U.S. birthday, Independence Day, 250 years. I like 1976 better. I enjoyed that more because I was young and I didn't have all the context for how difficult and flawed the history of our nation is. It was just more celebratory, but 250, that's no joke. And it also means that I've been around for like 20% of the U.S., which is kind of a crazy thought to think through as well. Maybe watch Independence Day. Like, I'm going to watch Jaws. Jaws is always a July 4th movie. That Jaws, obviously Jaws. And then Independence Day, the original Independence Day, with Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum. You're probably going to watch that. And then what Independence Day movies are you going to watch? Like, what are there July 4th movies, like Born on the 4th of July? That's another one that jumps to mind. Or other Americana kind of movies you might be watching. Let me know. Let me know what other movies I should be watching. Okay. It's a holiday. What are you doing? You should be, eating a hot dog or a veggie burger and having a beverage and relaxing, and hopefully the weather's good, and I hope you're doing okay, but please get some downtime. We don't always get downtime as startup people. So I want you to take opportunities when everything goes quiet, everybody's offline. This is your opportunity to recharge and relax and get ready for the next sprint next week. Okay. So hang in there. Hope you're holding up. Happy Independence Day. And until we get the chance to chat again, please keep up the good work.